Hi, I'm Luke from Zipwire. I wanted to show you how to journal and how to use Zipwire's command line tool, if I can grab the window. So Zipwire is a command line tool. This is actually the repo for it. So ordinarily you'd run ZW. From this repo I have to run /ZW, and there it is. And you can see this is real data. Well, the right behind me here, this is the fake sort of test website. This is real data. This is actually connected to Zipwire, and I've been tracking time for a long time through my own tool, including all my development work. So we'll see that actually here, and to prove it, you can see me buying the very recording software that I'm using to record this video. 3 hours ago that happened. So what I want to do is I want to track some time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run Claude Code, and we'll get Claude to do it. Okay, so let's say Claude. This is the repo for a CLI tool called ZW. It's for tracking time and managing life as a freelancer, especially techies, right? Don't know what it's going to say to that. It's probably going to look around a load of code and stuff, so I'll stop it if it starts to do that. Okay, great. I understand. Yep. See the ZWXE in the root. I don't know why I fix my spelling when I'm talking to Claude, because it knows, it can see through all the spelling mistakes. Right, don't ask again. No, don't ask again. That's fine. Okay, see the ZW executable. Great. Run it. What does it say? Okay, so we saw what it was like to run it. It told me when I last tracked time and what it was on and so on. Oh, wow, that's a beautiful welcome screen. Well, thank you very much. You created it, Claude. Status snapshot, product pitch, feature overview, quick actions, great. So, okay, this is connected to my real live system, so be careful. Look around the help system and tell me what this tool does. Okay, so there's a full help system built in. I can't remember what it's called using now, Cobra, something like that. So -- help will give you full help on everything. There we go. Doing the pitch for me. I'll just read it off for you. I won't. But yeah, journal entries. So you can track your time with it, manage your journal entries, you can edit them, which is a really big thing because it makes mistakes and you go, no, add more time to that, shrink that down or whatever. Move it to yesterday, that sort of stuff. Activities, so you can add new activities and manage and rename them. Renaming is really good. When you've been using this for a while and you've got like 250 activities, you can start to say, right, let's rationalize these. Which ones can we consolidate and blend together? And it supports that. It will do that, and it will merge them and update all your existing journal entries, if that makes sense. You can set up your workflows with it. You can even configure invoicing. I think you can even make your OAuth connections through it. So if you want to connect to free agents, set that up. It will open a pop a browser window up for you. Obviously there's authentication for you to authenticate with Zipwire, or you can punch in your API key. Company management, payment methods, and so on and so forth. So it does the whole thing there. So in the last few hours, I've been recording videos sort of explaining and demoing Zipwire for people. Can we track this time? Flibbity-gibbiting. Absolutely. That's exactly what ZW Journal Track is for. So, first I need to gather a few details. How much time? What activity? What description? So let's say choose me a good activity. Yeah, what? 3 hours. 3 hours? Oh, no, 3 hours. The time since last tracking, basically. I'm not going to spell anything correctly. What description? You choose the description. Once it gets the hang of it, by the way, you won't have to keep doing all this. You just basically say track time. And what I do is I teach it to go through my Git logs, and it will look at Git. And sometimes I get it to look at the file stamps and say, what files have changed? Can you infer a narrative from just the files and stuff that have changed on my disk? And it does it, You choose a description. When was this? Today. Right. So that was some work I did for a mate's company there. So it's trying, got that wrong. It says error, search failed. Now the error messages are really helpful. So they're helpful for humans, but they're helpful for coding agents. Done, so it's done it. So the errors help to guide, and the API will actually make suggestions, and those suggestions come through in the CLI tool. So you could potentially, even if you had an API key, you issue curl commands if you wanted to. And the R API gives lots of information. Well, it's not full hypermedia API, but it gives a lot of helpful information. Anyway, so it's tracked 3 hours, recorded and edited demo videos explaining Zipwire features and use cases for freelancers. Can't see the rest of that. The entry details. It says done today. Zipwire marketing video demo. Yeah, so it's picked the activity. It's figured out how to format it, how to put an activity in based on the existing activities that are in there. What does it say? Control O. I can see more. Yeah, so then just added extra lines. Yeah, fine. Cool. So that is essentially, as a techie, as a freelancer, this is like Git, but for your working day, and you will incorporate it into your workflow with your coding agent, with Claude Code or Cursor or whatever, and it will issue the commands, and then it all goes into your private journal. You can also put in your journal, there's a public message and there's a private message, right? So the public message ends up on your timesheets, so for your boss to sort of see what you did. But there's a private journaling system in there as well, and it supports huge. You could put pages in there, so you could make turn this into your entire diary, if you like, of life, and you can teach it to discern, what looks like it's private, what looks like it's public. When given a diatribe of like what you've been doing or what been, a nightmare you've had of a day, say, pull out of that a short public message, So you could develop a skill in Claude Code or something to do your journaling for you. And then, of course, this can actually send your timesheets. You can fill them out. It will show you that timesheet sort of visually, and it will send it. And of course, it will go through the API. And if you've got something like Free Agent, I haven't got Xero or QuickBooks set up yet, but once they're in, it will also invoice your agency, and you'll never have to manually do timesheets and invoicing ever again.